In the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Merciful, ladies and gentlemen, our dear guests, peace be with all of you. At the beginning, I would like to convey to you the greetings of His Excellency Professor Jamal Sanad Swedi, Director General of the Emirates Center for Strategic Studies and Research. Today, we introduce this lecture entitled Innovation in the Government Sector. There are many indications in the international press that the United Arab Emirates is shaping the future, or that the fact that the future is being made in the UAE. The United Arab Emirates has become a platform and a hub for international innovations. In the World Government Summit 2019, which was held and was concluded yesterday in Dubai, the total number of innovations that have been arbitrated and have been judged and evaluated in the UAE reached 450 innovations submitted by different countries from all over the globe, including Germany, Switzerland, and Belgium, the Netherlands, and also many other countries, including China, Indonesia, and Pakistan. This shows that the United Arab Emirates has taken great strides in this direction, the direction of innovation and taking the lead in the world of creativity. I will not take up too much time because we will get to know the journey of innovation in the United Arab Emirates through this lecture, which is entitled Innovation in the Government Sector in the United Arab Emirates. This lecture will be given by Mr. Khalid Maazmi, the Director of the Strategy and Future Department at the Federal Authority for Government Human Resources. Mr. Khalid Maazmi holds a bachelor's degree in Finance Administration from the American University in Sharjah. He has held a variety of positions throughout his career, including Head of Finance Department, Financial Resources Specialist, and Director of the Strategy and Future Department. He also led several teams, such as the Innovation Team, Knowledge Team, and Business Partners Team. Mr. Khalid Al-Maazmi also holds the ISO 9001-2008 Auditor and the EFKM certifications. He was granted the Exceptional Employee Award as part of the Tistahil Distinguished Employee Award at a ceremony sponsored by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President of the UAE, Prime Minister of the UAE, and ruler of Dubai. May God bless him. Mr. Al-Maazmi also participated in ensuring that Ajman Municipality wins the Ajman Award for Excellence in Government Performance in the year 2011. Moreover, he was a key part of the team responsible for the Federal Authority of Government Human Resources, winning the Best Entity in Enablers category of Mohammed bin Rashid Government Excellence Award in its 5th edition in 2018 as the Best Entity in the category of Enablers. Moreover, he participated in the Federal Authority Government of Human Resources in its 5th edition in 2018 as one of the best 5 entities in the innovation category. First, I would like to welcome Mr. Khalid Al-Maazmi at the Emirates Center for Strategic Studies and Research, and I hope that you will give us a wonderful lecture. Thank you very much. Please, the floor is yours. Peace be with all of you. I wanted to introduce myself, but Mr. Muad, God bless him, he gave a full introduction about me and gave you a full background about me. Today, God willing, our lecture will be discussing innovation in the government sector. I will try to highlight the entity where I work at, which is the Federal Authority for Government and Human Resources, and a number of initiatives through which we managed to shift the level of innovation at the authority to reach the highest levels at the federal government. First, in our journey in government innovation, the journey started in the year 2017. By that year, and with all transparency, it was a very modest starting point for us. We have a federal government award, which is Mohammed bin Rashid Award for excellent government performance, where the federal entities are assessed against the innovation criterion. As I told you, in the year 2016, our assessment was F in innovation. So we almost failed the category of innovation. One of the things that you should know about the innovative people is that those individuals who are highly innovative, they don't give up. They never give up and they never accept failure. Their objective is always to be number one. Once we got that F assessment in 2016, we wanted to start anew, to have a new start. And thank God, within 5 years, within the period of the period from 2016, within 2 years, exactly 2 years, we managed to reach the status of one of the best 5 entities in the government at the federal level in the field of innovation. If we delve deeper into this lecture, today we'll be talking about the vision of the UAE 2021. We will highlight some references in the field of innovation in the government sector. We will further highlight the activities of the Federal Authority for Government and Human Resources and how we managed to achieve this status. At the beginning, of course, you know that, thank God, we are working in a country where our wise leadership is one of the best leaderships in the world in terms of supporting innovation. Our wise leadership values innovation and creativity in shaping the future of the UAE. If we take a look at the vision of the UAE 2021, the first sentence focuses on innovation. It states that the UAE must be one of the most innovative countries in the world. Innovations and research, sciences and technology represent the key pillars of the knowledge-based economy, which is highly productive and which can propel success for entrepreneurs in a highly stimulating environment. In the year 2014, when the strategy and when the vision was first launched, the UAE ranked at the Innovation Index for all countries worldwide in terms of innovation. The UAE ranked 36 globally. Of course, you know, in the UAE, we always seek to be number one. Everything we'll be doing in the upcoming period is to reach number one, to rank number one. Those who attended the World Government Summit, yesterday there was a speech by His Highness Sheikh Saif bin Zayed Al Nahyan, in which His Highness mentioned that the United Arab Emirates currently is number one, ranks number one in 50 global indicators. We want to add another number to this indicator to make it the 51st indicator to ensure that innovation we rank first as well. One of the most important elements that will underscore our efforts to be number one in the field of innovation is that we must have leaders in our country whose characteristics focus on innovation. We need such innovative leaders in our government entities. We need them because those highly innovative individuals are the ones who underscore innovation in government entities. They are the ones who adopt new ideas and develop them. They are the ones who seek to deploy the innovation culture between the employees. Albert Einstein said something. He said that innovation is contagious. Creativity is contagious. This means that if we have a number of employees who are highly innovative, in an involuntary manner, all other employees will try to imitate them and will try to follow suit. This is the culture that we want to deploy in our government entities. If we talk about leaders, of course, the best leader is His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, who knows exactly how innovation will shape the future of the UAE. He says that our objective is to provide a comprehensive environment for innovation that nurtures and instills innovation and measures the efficiency of innovation continuously. If you want to learn anything, the best takeaway from my lecture is this lecture, and is this sentence by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid. Those who want to take the lead in the future and to have an advanced future, they have to be highly innovative. Okay. Let's talk about a number of references for the government entities in terms of innovation. Of course, at the beginning we have the UAE 2021 vision. And we also have the innovation framework for the government entities. It's more like a guide, a consultative guide for government entities that want to initiate innovative initiatives. This was issued by Mohammed bin Rashid Government Innovation Center, which is playing a key role in boosting innovation in this regard. Moreover, we have the Government Excellence System, which is a comprehensive one, which has a number of criteria, one of which is the criterion of innovation. And all federal government entities have to do so and have to follow these elements of innovation, and they will be assessed against the innovation criterion in the Government Excellence Program. Another element that we have is the National Innovation Strategy, and the National Strategy for Advanced Innovation. When we talk about the first strategy for innovation, which is the National Innovation Strategy, when it was first launched, it aimed at underscoring the culture of innovation in the government sector and also introducing the key pillars of innovation in the government sector. However, in the year 2018, the second strategy, which is the National Strategy for Advanced Innovation, was issued. And it shows that we have completed the first one, complete the first stage, and therefore all government employees have to make sure that they are keeping track of the same level. Have they established the key concepts of innovation? Have they deployed the culture of innovation? Because we are talking about a new stage now of innovation. The new national strategy for advanced innovation is to start exporting innovations. I was participating 2-3 weeks ago. I was participating in a conference with Her Excellency Yahuda Rumi, the Minister of Happiness and Quality of Life. She was talking about the UAE Centennial Strategy 2071, in which she highlighted, Her Excellency highlighted that we should shift from going to other countries and other best practices worldwide and try to adopt these ideas and try to implement them in our entities, government entities. This stage is over. What we seek to achieve now is that we should be the one in the UAE who export this innovation and these innovative ideas to the world. We want other countries to come and learn from the UAE, to benchmark themselves and their performance to the UAE. Moreover, we have another reference point, which is the international or the Global Innovation Index. The Global Innovation Index ranked the UAE 36 in the year 2016. Our objective is to be number one, and we have to revise this Global Innovation Index and review it regularly. Another important element that boosts the efforts of government entities to pursue innovation is the NSAI, which is TS 16555. It is more like the ISO certificate. Now there is no ISO certificate for innovation. This is the only global innovation certificate. It is available in the UAE, and everyone in government entities can obtain it. This certificate requires that the government entity must have a comprehensive system for innovation management. Government entities are being assessed against this system, and in case of non-conformity or non-compliance or deviation in terms of implementing this certificate, the certificate will be immediately withdrawn. If we want to highlight the National Strategy for Innovation, this strategy focused on 4 key pillars. The first one, underscoring an environment that stimulates innovation. If we talk about the environment here, we must provide an infrastructure in terms of technology that supports innovation. Another important point is to ensure that we have a corporate environment and legislations that boost innovation. One of the most important initiatives launched by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum was the Legislations Lab. This Legislations Lab aims at providing innovation in terms of supporting these laws and legislations that can boost innovation. So another pillar here is developing government innovation. In the federal government, we have the objective of designating 1%, at least 1% of the budgets of all government entities to support innovation. The third pillar talks about stimulating the efforts of the private sector in innovation. We cannot talk about innovation in terms of the government sector only. We must never forget the private sector, which plays a key role in innovation. The reason for that is that the private sector is based on profitability. If you own a private company, if the company will flourish and will continue and will make or earn revenues, you have to be highly innovative. That's why you need to be highly creative in the private sector. The difference between the public sector and the private sector is that in the public sector, we did not have this kind of competition, since government entities have no competitors in terms of offering government services. Moreover, if we like to talk about the private sector, we must never forget that we have UAE nationals who work in the private sector as well. That is why we need to support them as well. The fourth pillar is a very important one, and I want everybody to focus on it. It talks about empowering individuals to be highly innovative. Here we are talking about qualifying our staff and our leaders at the government to boost innovation and to instill the culture of innovation in their minds, and introducing curricula in the schools that support innovation. There is a scientific study that says that children's innovative capabilities, children aged less than 5 years old, is more than 98%. And the older they get, the smaller this innovative capability becomes. When they reach 10 years old, this creativity is reduced by 30%. When they become 15 years old, it is reduced to 12%. And when they are older, their innovation and creativity abilities become only 2% of their original volume. So in government entities, we have only 2% of innovative capabilities for human beings. So if we want to support innovative capabilities of new generations, we need to target those who have a 98% innovative capability. So innovation in the government sector, of course, we cannot forget the important role played by Mohammed bin Rashid Center for Government Innovation. It is well known that the month of February is the month of innovation in the government of the UAE, which is organized by this innovation center. I advise everybody in the government sector to take a very important diploma, which is assessed by this center, which is called Government Innovation Diploma. This diploma is organized by the center and the best universities worldwide. Now we have an agreement with the Cambridge University, and I am part of the people studying in this program. They want to teach the trainees the latest technologies and the latest theories about innovation. Moreover, they focus on preparing projects for those trainees. Those projects can support the entities they work for. They sit with them. They bring government. They bring experts from the academia, and they sit with them and they try to develop their capabilities and ideas, so that you'll be able to propose highly beneficial projects for the entities they work for. If you want to talk about our experience in the Federal Authority for Government Human Resources, we shifted from the F category to the top 5 government entity. So everybody's asking us what we managed to achieve within 2 years to move from this low status to be one of the top government entities. Of course, you know, ladies and gentlemen, that if we want to build a tall building, we must have a strong foundation. That's why we focused on establishing a very strong foundation for innovation and creativity that has to do with everything in our work. So we started with the vision and mission and strategic objectives of the Federal Authority for Government Human Resources. The vision here says highly innovative government human resources and highly innovative ones. The mission is to provide innovative solutions for human capital. We have 5 key strategic objectives. We wanted to dedicate an entire objective to innovation only, which is instilling the culture of innovation in the corporate environment. After we introduced innovation as part of our vision and mission and strategic objectives, the first thing that we had to do was to analyze our situation, do as-is analysis. So in the as-is analysis, we wanted to pinpoint our strengths, our weaknesses, and I will highlight this stage in particular in detail and what were the methodologies we used in this regard. We also need to focus on this regard on the things like the national strategy for innovation and all the other elements that have to do with government innovation. We had to study them in depth, and we needed to link them to the work of our government entity. The third point is that we started looking into the best practices in innovation. We tried to adopt them and to develop them, and to develop our work so it would be aligned with those innovations. One of the key pieces of advice that I would like to give to all government entities: don't start from scratch. If you want to advance in a specific domain, whether it is innovation or anything else, there are already outstanding entities in this regard. So you never have to start from scratch. You don't have to start from scratch. We are still in one government and in one country, and we have the same objectives, so we can cooperate with one another. Try to look into the best practices of other outstanding government entities and try to align and streamline your practices to theirs. Then we introduced the innovation strategy at the authority. If we go back to the as-is analysis stage, we conducted 5 key steps to analyze our situation. The first approach was innovation labs. In those innovation labs, we would gather all the stakeholders for the authority's work. We are talking about the community, the staff of the authority, the other relevant government entities, our partners, and all the stakeholders in the process of our work at the authority. We gathered all of them, and we started studying the objectives of the authority, our future plans, our performance, and our strengths and weaknesses from their perspective and what they expected from us in the future. And based on that, we started developing our work and developing ourselves. The second step that we conducted, which is the pistol analysis. We use pistol and SWOT analysis. We managed to pinpoint the strengths and weaknesses that we need to focus on. The third point is the Innovation TS certificate. We got this certificate. We obtained this certificate, which showed that we are moving on the right track of innovation. And at the end of the day, you will get a report which shows the exact deviation in terms of achieving innovation. One of the most important things that we focused on, if it wasn't the most important one, is the Government Excellence Program. And this Government Excellence Program is where we got the F assessment in terms of innovation. We received a report from the Government Excellence Program, which showed our weaknesses and our strengths and what we should focus on in the future. We implemented this in detail to achieve our objectives. One of the most important methodologies that are missed by many entities is surveys. Surveys are very important. Everything that you do in your entity, at the end of the day, you want to serve your customers. So we want to know how satisfied our customers are. Surveys, at the end of the day, they give you, and they measure the satisfaction rate for your customers. They give you a number of proposals to develop your work, a number of initiatives to develop your work and to see in your future services. These surveys represent a massive science. They are not just a simple step. There are major studies about Harvard, conducted by Harvard University, where which question should you ask? Should you ask an open question or an open-ended question, or a question with a meter from 1 to 5, and so on? So there are different reports for those surveys. There are quantitative reports and qualitative reports. So surveys is a science in its own right, and you need to focus on them. If we get back to the strategic objectives, the 5 strategic objectives that we have the 5th objective that we have said, which highlights instilling the culture of innovation in the work environment. For this objective, we launched a number of initiatives at the authority to be able to develop our capabilities in general. So I wouldn't get into the exact details of these initiatives. I want to give you the most prominent initiatives that each one of you can conduct in his work, and that can be highly important in your work. One of the most important things that we have conducted, it was the most important thing for me, is this initiative. The National Center for Developing Suggestions and Proposals. This system, or this initiative, is very important. We moved from killing ideas and obliterating ideas and proposals to attracting ideas and attracting innovations. What I mean here is that in the first stage, when we received proposals or ideas submitted by our customers or our staff, most departments would like to say that this proposal is useless and it has no value and should not be implemented. Why? Because they already have a lot of work and they didn't want to do an additional amount of work. So the easiest way out was to say that any suggestion we receive is useless. So we started realizing that many of the proposals and ideas that we received were highly innovative and would develop our work significantly. So we stopped our approach and we transformed our way of dealing with these proposals and these ideas. The first step here was gathering the largest number of innovative ideas and proposals. We have the electronic proposal system that we have any workshop, any training workshop, any conversation between two people, any proposal, any idea or suggestion that we may get, we would immediately register it in our system to be able to process it. Once we receive it and once we input it into the system, we transfer it to the competent department which is concerned with this specific idea. If the department says this idea or proposal is useless, we would not accept that answer from the department. We would make a meeting and 2 or 3 meetings. And sometimes we bring the person who made this proposal or this idea, and they start the discussion. If it is a viable proposal, we would impose a time frame for the department to implement this proposal. Then we go to seek for evidence that they have implemented this new proposal. This mechanism completely transformed the concept of submitting proposals and submitting ideas and suggestions. Moreover, we issue periodical reports about the innovations and ideas and proposals that we have. We have monthly reports and annual reports in which we highlight the most prominent departments which regularly implement such proposals and ideas, and they receive awards for this. Once we receive these proposals or ideas, we have 2 paths. It could be a viable proposal or a useless proposal. A useless proposal, of course, means that it cannot be implemented in the government entity. Even in those non-viable proposals or ideas, we even submit or give a letter of gratitude and thanks and appreciation to the person who submitted it, to encourage people to submit more proposals and more ideas. But the viable ones, we try to assess them, we try to evaluate them. We evaluate these proposals and these ideas against 4 key criteria. Each viable proposal is assessed. After the assessment of this proposal or idea, it gets a certain score. We made a level of 60% or less, which is a viable proposal. Then the proposals that range from 60 to 80% are outstanding proposals, and then we have excellent proposals which have more than 80% in terms of their assessment. We, as a government entity, we dedicated most of the innovation budget to giving these financial awards to those who submit those proposals, because most of our innovations are based on these ideas and these proposals. One of the other initiatives that gave us a very important driver for innovation, once we reviewed our work in the field of human resources, we found that we have systems, we have evidence, we have a number of flows and bylaws which are very special, which are completely outstanding, and which are not implemented in other government entities and other countries. So we tried to change our approach, since these proposals are and these innovative ideas are really customized and are peculiar to our authority. We started registering them and registering the trademarks for the authority and the other innovations. Now we have 62 IP certified ideas at our authority. If you review the services that you submit or the services that you make for the customers, you will find that you are providing highly customized services which can be turned into an IP protected idea or approach at the Ministry of Economy. Another initiative that we implemented at the authority, we know that the month of February is the month of innovation. We adopted this idea and we wanted to have our own month of innovation at the authority. This month it teams with workshops and benchmarking studies. We try to use state-of-the-art technologies and to ensure that it's not like regular training workshops. In January, if we have 20 workshops, training workshops, some people get bored. They say, I cannot attend all of these workshops in 1 month. So we try to diversify, to use state-of-the-art technologies. In the month of innovation, this year, we are using state-of-the-art technologies such as artificial intelligence, gamification, 3D printing. We did not focus only on the visual material only. We even have activities that have to do with physical activities. How do you develop your innovation through physical activity? So we have many innovations. and many activities. You can log on to the website of fahr.com.ae. You can take a look at the detailed calendar. If you want to participate with us, you are most welcome. Just send us an email and you can come and participate in our activities without any cost. We will take all the costs and we'll cover all the costs. One of the most important initiatives which give us a highly strong motive in innovation, we have seen as a federal government that we have many accumulated experiences in the authority. We have statistical authority. We have experts in finance and human resources. We have excellent expertise in human resources and so on. And in some cases, we find that other government entities need these expertise. But given the limited budget sometimes and the absence of certain vacancies, they cannot really recruit people for those specific tasks. So we at the federal authority, since we are part of a single government, we introduced this idea, which is called the Skills Bank. The Skills Bank is a comprehensive system that lists all the expertise we have at the federal government in particular. So if we want to research a statistical expert, we will have a list of all statistical experts or statisticians in the federal government. And if any government entity needs his services or her services, they can communicate with us and they say, we have a specific task for a specific project and we need your expert for 2-3 months and so on. He can be seconded to that entity, and once the project is over, he can return to his work. One of the most important initiatives that was introduced by the proposal system is the His Highness Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Award for Best Academic Research in Human Resources. We are, of course, at Fahr, we are concerned with the proposals and studies by human resources. There are already scientific studies by university students or by the faculty staff. Why don't we benefit from those researches that have already been conducted? It was a highly innovative idea and it's very creative. So we adopted this idea and we tried to develop it in a certain manner. So we introduced an award. It was the Federal Authority for Government Human Resources Award for Best Scientific Research and Academic Research. It was launched in 2017. It targets scientific research in the university for the faculty staff and for the students. The research that we receive would receive an award for the best 3 research papers. In the year 2018, last year, we had the second round of this award, which was under the kind patronage of His Highness Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan. And we also have another award, which was first submitted as a proposal, is to introduce an award for human resources departments at government entities. Since we at the Federal Authority of Government Human Resources, we have the laws and bylaws that regulate the work of human resources departments in all government entities. So we would communicate with them and we would help them accelerate the implementation of these criteria according to certain indexes. And at the end of the day, we would grant awards to outstanding human resources departments. The last 2 initiatives that we had, because I'm running out of time, we have 2 initiatives. One is called the Human Resources Club, and another initiative was the Human Resources Annual Conference. In those 2 conferences, the first one is held every 2 months, and the conference, of course, is an annual conference which is held once every year in April, where we bring in expert speakers in human resources, and they tell us about the state-of-the-art and latest scientific theories and research papers and books issued in the field of human resources. Thank God, at the beginning we were talking about the level of the government level, but we have seen that even the local governments, not just the federal government, even local governments wanted to attend these activities. So we started conducting this in collaboration with local government as well, local governments. We will have an upcoming event on Sunday in Fujairah entitled Innovation. And we have Thursday. Thursday is another event in Ajman entitled Tolerance. And in April, God willing, we will have the annual conference for human resources, where we will have a large number of speakers in the field of human resources. One year after another, the conference is growing significantly, and we are having major partnerships, and we've had the biggest companies working with us in those conferences, such as Deloitte, McKinsey, Sharp. All of them have been participating with speakers in that annual conference. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope I haven't taken up too much time. I've been introducing this only very quickly, but of course we'll be taking questions in the Q&A session. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Would like to thank Mr. Khalid al-Maazmi for this wonderful lecture, in which he mentioned the support of our leadership in the United Arab Emirates to innovation and creativity and innovation in the United Arab Emirates. He highlighted that the environment in the United Arab Emirates is highly stimulating for innovation and creativity. And of course, the National Strategy for Innovation was launched in the year 2014 in the United Arab Emirates. And in those days, and as mentioned by Mr. Khalid, in February every year, we see how the press and the media in general, they dedicate a great deal of coverage to innovation and creativity, and we have highly innovative steps taken by government entities and university students and so on. And we're very proud of this, since our sons and daughters in the UAE provide from one period to another new innovations and creative innovations that we would like to wish them all the best to continue their march towards success. I would like to ask Mr. Khalid, since this strategy was launched in 2014 and up till now, what's the percentage of the government entities from the government entities in the UAE that are participating in this regard? In February, we believe that we have seen highly dedicated government entities that have been highly competitive in this regard, while other government entities are not represented and are not participating. What's the percentage of government entities that are highly active in innovation, and how can we stimulate young people and employees and staff in different domains to be highly innovative? Yes, it's working. As for the percentage, as you know, the old ideas about innovation have been changed completely. The National Strategy for Advanced Innovation, as I told you, was actually that we are done with the deployment of the culture of innovation. Now the new stage is to export innovation to other countries. The old concept was that innovation is something optional, and that not all government entities have to engage in innovation. But this old concept has been scrapped completely. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid last year declared officially that the least 5 government entities will not be part of in terms of their performance, will not be part of the government. We have taken great strides in this regard, and everyone must cope with this innovative approach. The percentage changed. Now everybody is engaged in innovation. Everybody has his own aspirations. A large number of entities and a large number of ministries are calling us almost on a daily basis. They want to sit with us. They want to benchmark their performance with us. They want to learn the best practice from us. And what are the best fields for innovation that we are pursuing. As for the culture, it has become clear and that we have a great deal of knowledge in terms of innovation. Nobody in government entities now is unaware of what innovation is. This is a corporate culture that has been instilled in our employees. One of the most important elements that we need to focus on is to ensure that this culture is deployed properly among our staff. They must participate in all activities, because at the end of the day, this staff are the best ones who are fully aware of the services. The best ideas and the best proposals always come from those employees. They are the ones who deliver the services. If you want to give actual examples, we can talk about Emirates Airlines. They have an excellent example. They say that don't belittle the concepts and ideas of any employee. If you see the airplanes, now under it always we see Fly Emirates. Yeah, you all know them. Who submitted this proposal? Actually, a cleaning man submitted this proposal. He said, why don't we put the slogan and the logo of Fly Emirates underneath the airplane? Why don't we print it there? So this idea was submitted actually by a cleaning specialist at the Emirates Airlines. So even from the lowest level, you can go up with such innovation and creative ideas. Everybody can use these concepts. If you believe that you are not able to be highly innovative like other staff, you will try to improve your skills to be able to cope with them. You don't want to be left behind in this regard. Now we open the floor to questions. If you have a question, please stand up and state your question very briefly, please. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Khalid. Actually, this culture that you have conveyed to us is very important and highly positive one, and it will definitely stimulate us after listening to your lecture. No doubt, our wise leadership is keen on developing human capital because they are the cornerstone of development and they represent the future of our country. Paying attention to innovation and creativity is part and parcel of this system instilled and deployed by our wise leadership. Yet, I believe I may participate with some ideas that have to do with the basics of this concept. At the beginning, we need to pay attention to education. Education is the main platform for innovation and creativity and the productivity. The second point, in the work environment that we have, I believe that the work environment in our government entities is really discouraging innovation among UAE nationals and is not stimulating them to be innovative and creative. So the relationship between the UAE national and his job is just a financial relationship for mutual benefit. The third element is research centers that stimulate and boost innovation. How much do we spend on those research centers that have to do with innovation and creativity, which is part and parcel of innovation? The fourth point is media coverage. No doubt, media has a great role to play in spreading the culture of innovation and stimulating the different categories of the community to adopt this approach that has been highlighted by our wise leadership in the UAE. The figure that was mentioned in terms of the last conference that was held in Dubai about the countries, almost 450 proposals were made by different countries in the World Government Summit. How many proposals were submitted by the UAE in that highly international platform to ensure that the UAE has taken great strides in this regard? Thank you very much. Of course, first I would like to thank you for your intervention. As you have said, we should always focus on the generations that we have. We need to prepare them from now and encourage them to be highly innovative as of now, to remove all fears of risks. One of the things that was mentioned in the National Strategy of Innovation was about well-studied risks or taking calculated risks. Those who studied finance may understand me. There is a key rule that says high risk generates high return. If you want to achieve a high return and high income, you have to accept risks. You have to take risks. One of the most important elements of the National Strategy of Innovation is that we must encourage the new generation to accept those calculated risks. At the end of the day, they have to be well calculated, and they cannot be uncalculated risks. They have to be based on clear scientific grounds. If you have a certain proposal, you need to study it from all aspects and study the outcome of those concepts. What if a problem comes up? How can we deal it? How can we address it? How can we deal with it? And how we solve it? If you want to talk about the role of scientific research, we have this, of course, this center, the ECSSR, is supporting scientific research in a great manner. With all frankness, I did not expect really that the center would host such lectures, but as observed, since the establishment of the ECSSR, they have introduced 1,000 research papers and studies. But part of missing out on this field is our fault. If we want to achieve something, we have to pursue it. One of the most important characteristics of innovative people is that they are highly curious. They don't give up. They don't accept anything below number one and being number one. If you want to talk about some prominent figures that you may have heard of, those highly innovative and creative individuals, they never give up, even despite the challenges they face. They are always keen on achieving their objectives. And this is, to give you an example here, there's a famous writer who, there's the writer who, J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter stories. That woman, her mother was ill, then her mother died. Her husband divorced her. She did not have a job, and she did not have any decent income. She did not have anything. And the only thing that she liked, her passion, was books and writing. Despite all of that, she managed to achieve success. She continued to pursue success relentlessly until she succeeded. So, one of these characteristics, another characteristic is being, persistent. Even if someone considers himself a failure or an unsuccessful person, this has to be like a driving force for you to achieve success. You must never accept failure. As stated in one of the books by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, His Highness said, the word impossible does not exist in the dictionary of the UAE. It's not in our vocabulary. So whenever you say this is something impossible, they really go mad about it. They don't accept the word impossible. For those individuals who have this kind of determination are highly successful. You need to accept this concept in your work. You have an innovative individual inside you. You have to bring out these skills. And at the end of the day, for innovation and creativity, this is a culture at the end of the day. It's not something that nobody is born with the innovation and creativity and others are not born with it. It's something that we can learn in our lives. A third point that was mentioned by the speaker, he talked about the media and the role of the media. No doubt, media has a great role to play in the deployment of the culture of innovation. One of the things that we try to focus on is using state-of-the-art social media platforms. We talk about our accounts on Twitter, Instagram, and all of these things that we're using. We also use newspaper and social media platforms, our website. We use all of these mechanisms. We have to take the initiative, have a sense of initiative. we should not focus our work on a specific newspaper or a specific TV channel that covers our work only, and if they do not cover our work, we will just be content with that. No, we have to take the initiative. If one newspaper does not publish our work, we will go to another. We'll go to another TV channel and so on, and keep moving until we change this approach and we ensure that we have the right coverage. We have to take the sense of initiative to achieve our objectives. Thank God, in our work at the Federal Authority, we work at deploying and instilling these values in our employees and thereby achieve success. Anybody has a question or an intervention, please? Briefly, please. We have 1 minute left, please. In the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Merciful, my name is Dr. Al Aboudi, a former counsel at the United Nations for Sustainable Development. Actually, I agree with Dr. Najib Shamsi for what he stated in terms of the overall developments of the UAE and the wise decisions of our wise leadership in terms of stimulating and providing the corporate frameworks. We have all of this in place, but the work environment itself, as highlighted by Mr. Najib, it really this is true. How far, Mr. Khalid, do you believe that this mechanism of the internal structure or the internal infrastructure of our entities, how can we develop them and how can we change them? My second question to you, are we innovating for the sake of innovation itself as a general concept, or are we trying to be innovative to have it like a slogan, or to for knowledge only, to be innovative in terms of knowledge only? I will answer your second question first, please. Innovation is not just a slogan, of course. It's not just for obtaining awards and so on. Innovation is a way of life and a way of performance. This is a culture that has to be instilled in all your employees. We at FAHW, any step that we look at it from the perspective of innovation. Does it support innovation or not? We try to link it to all the projects that we have, to our objectives, to our vision and mission and strategic objectives. The things that are not linked to them, we try to modify them in a manner that makes it directly linked to innovation. So we should all notice that, yes, this is no longer a buzzword that we repeat. No, it's a way of life. It's a way of work that we have to instill in all of our staff. They need to be able to understand what innovation can do for us and help us do. As for your first question and for the entities and the work environment, I agree with you. There are some government entities which do not support their staff and do not help them to be innovative. But when we talk about laws and regulations and the legislations that we have, all of them support innovation. Whether we're talking about the laws and regulations that we have in the UAE, if you take a look at the presentation that I put on the screen, I put up a table about giving awards and financial awards for innovative individuals. This means that the UAE government is supporting innovation. Our approach at FAHW is definitely focusing, and our mandate is focusing on awards and remuneration system for government entities. But who is implementing the system? This is what I want you to focus on. We have to get back to our work, to the entities we work for, to our management, to the laws and regulations that we have. We have all the laws and regulations in place, but they must be implemented. Some of the indicators, the key indicators that we focus on and that we hold government entities responsible for is happiness and positivity and harmony in the work environment. All of these indicators are being assessed in federal entities, and it becomes clear who is ranking high and who is ranking low. We have to change ourselves. We have to support change. As I said in the beginning, in the year 2016, when we first started our journey to innovation, even our own entity, the Federal Authority for Government Human Resources, we ranked very low in the assessment process. But the first thing that we did is that we changed ourselves. We changed our approaches and our convictions. We let our staff participate in every single step. This is one of the secrets of our success. We engage our staff in the process of innovation, whether it's a small step or a big leap. We are not focusing only on the top management. We engage all employees at all levels. Other than innovation, in the year 2018, we won the award of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum for excellent government performance in the category of enablers. You cannot imagine that we engaged our staff in that regard. You cannot imagine how happy our employees were when we won this award. We were very proud, and they were very proud of this award. This is one of the most important secrets. Engage your staff in every single step that you take. It is great to see this great attention being paid to innovation and creativity in the United Arab Emirates. In conclusion of this speech and this lecture, I would like to thank His Excellency Mr. Khalid Al-Maazmi, and I convey to you the greetings of His Excellency Professor Jamal Sanad Swedi, Director General of the Emirates Center for Strategic Studies and Research, and peace be with all of you.